Alright everybody, welcome back to the Join Dota League number 6, Master Revolution 5, joined by Dragondrop Dota for Truesight TV, and judging by our bans here, I feel like Leviathan in game number 2 are not as afraid of ASDF.
Yeah, they have no reason to be afraid. I mean, the Storms got banned out, so that shows how respectful ASDF is of that display from Shibi, but they do get themselves the Queen of Pain, which is equally as bad if you get in the right hands, of course, and the Spirit Break on top of that.
Yeah, the Spirit Breaker picked up to counter the Drow, who was just picked up by ASDF in conjunction with the Visage, which is going to be a very scary combo. Maybe they were hustling the first match, you know? Saying, oh, well, we're not that good. You want to put some money on it? Oh, well, now we got good. We got skills, mate. We play in real. Now where's the money? You know? Yeah. But, they do respect the Shibi Storm very hard, and just first ban that out, no shot, no chance of anything there, as they'll pick up the Gyrocopter as a ban as well.
Yeah, and Visage Drow, I mean, it's of course a very strong combination that Leviathan already, as you said, have a good counter to that in the Spirit Breaker, just being able to charge Drow, and not just later on to just get closer to the marksmanship, but even in the early stages of the game. I mean, it's kind of what the Spirit Breaker does. Create a lot of space, and if you manage to pull it off, if you have a lineup around that can make use of that charge, that can convert that into kills early on, especially on a Drow Ranger who is relatively squishy. I mean, Gust, of course, will be able to make it a little bit tougher, but more often than not, it's not enough to actually keep you alive from a starting Spirit Breaker. Plus some support, right? And that's what Leviathan is looking for here. Keep the Drow Ranger low early, and then snowball off on the back of the Queen of Pain again. Yeah. Queen of Pain, of course, one of these heroes that can benefit from the Spirit Breaker, because, yeah, you can blink right after him. Yep.
Can definitely keep up with him. It's always often when you draft like a Spirit Breaker and then, like, Pudge. And the Spirit Breaker's like, I'm going in, and Pudge is like, okay, I'm coming, I'm waddling after you, buddy, but not going to make it. They will still ban out the Undying. Ban's a little more serious here. I looked at these and I'm like, these are the Mushi bans, you know, you remember when he was banning Riki Huskar for a while? Yeah. Just to like, okay, we'll play against anything, bro. Throw it at us. Is it worth it? We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see indeed. Well, yeah, Dazzle ban. Don't know how well Leviathan run that, but yeah, Dazzle, of course, one of these heroes that can help you up against the Drow Visage. It can help you in any sort of situation. I really love that hero a lot.
Yeah, it buys you an extra 5 seconds to get in Drow's face before you just fall over dead. So,
yeah, Night Stalker as well. Sustain that it gives you. I mean, Queen of Pain and Spirit Breaker, especially Spirit Breaker, I mean, sure, is going to get an Urn at some point, but if you can't really find all the kills, then, or if you just run out of Urn charges, then that Dazzle just gives you so much sustain, so you just can keep on charging and keep on doing what you want to do without having to worry about your health pool.
And a hero who can go toe-to-toe mid lane with the Queen of Pain, at least in the laning stages of the Puck. I will go ahead and say I'm a little worried about this moving into the mid-game. Quap can go straight for Orchid. I mean, Puck, of course, it's a free country. Puck can do what he wants. But chances are you're going to want to blink beforehand, because Quap's got her blink built in. She's fine. It's just like Storm. And then in the mid-game, if she's allowed to get any farm, Puck has a rough time, because if you silence Puck, it's like, okay, I can right-click, and I can walk away, but that's it.
Yeah. But I would agree earlier on in the lane stage, pre-level 6, Puck should have a little bit of a better time up against Queen of Pain, simply because the Shadow Strike is not going to be effective up against the Phase Shift. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see any points into that on the Queen of Pain, instead just focusing on the Scream of Pain to maybe do some harassment to the Puck, but more focus on the CS war more than anything else, I would say.
Yeah.
And later on, I also like the Puck up against the Spirit Breaker, because you can drop down the coil and just make sure that Spirit Breaker can't just charge away out of your way, so you can secure these kind of kills as well.
And that'll set it up for an Earthshaker. If Puck can land a good coil right into Earthshaker, that's going to be great. But the Tiny Wisp, already ready from Leviathan, they're just like, okay, we know what we want to pick, we're ready. Of course, the toss in onto Drow is an instant, you don't have no ult passive thing, whatever. Yep. Although, does it take it away entirely now? Yeah, grants no bonus. Okay. I got mixed up for a second. Went back in my time machine to when it only halved the bonus, which was a terrifying time of Dota. It was absolutely scary.
Yeah, well, scary is this Leviathan lineup here, the more I look at it. I mean, you have yet another pair of heroes that can come in after a Spirit Breaker charged, so there's a lot of synergy there. Wouldn't be too surprised if they picked up... maybe they run Spirit Breaker in the offlane, but maybe they run him as a support, which would open them up to another not Storm Spirit, another Nature's Prophet pick, or someone that can just teleport as well. Have this global presence and make sure that nowhere is safe for ASDF heroes to stay and farm. And yeah, I mean, if you can get on top of the draw range, we all know what happens. If they're not ready to fight with the Earthshake and Parker ready to kind of initiate, then it's not going to be pretty for them. On the other hand, if they do get the fights they want, which is kind of the 5-on-5 engagements in the mid-game, where the Earthshaker can really use the fissure, use his Stunlock to try and mess with Leviathan and give Drow Ranger and the Visage Birds as well the space to do the damage that they need to, then they're in a good position, but I'm not sure if we'll see that kind of game from Leviathan.
Yeah, Leviathan's draft looking pretty strong. I'd still give ASDF a bit of an edge. I'm one to root for the underdog, and just for complete transparency, did not bet on this match at all. So I don't have a stake in it one way or another, but I feel like ASDF have a little bit of potential. They actually do have God's Hand back with them this game, so.
Yep. So at least we are not... we don't have to pronounce that other name anymore.
Yeah, I was having trouble
Sorry,
with that
whoever
one.
you are.
Sorry, yeah. But, of course, Leviathan, with their global potential, getting very scary. I mean, usually you're worried about your Drow getting jumped just at a team fight. What if your Drow is getting jumped from anywhere on the map at any time? Even the fountain is not safe, although it's not safe for Leviathan either.
Yeah, I don't know that we're gonna see that, but
relocating the fountain, don't worry guys, we got Drow. Totally worth it.
But yeah, the point is still true. I mean, there's not going to be anywhere safe for the Drow to farm. On the other hand, Leviathan might, ASDF might be able to set up some jets for Leviathan if they play on that, and Leviathan isn't really up there with the map control.
But talking about map control, the Zeus coming out.
I like the pick. I mean, whenever you're afraid something will just come your way, you can just pop the ultimate and then know for sure if the Spirit Breaker is charging you, if the Queen of Pain is sitting in the trees, if I or Tiny are getting ready. I mean, you're always going to see them on a map. They're always going to farm a lane or something, but...
Plus, he gives a lot of damage in team fights, and he's another ranged hero who, while he doesn't have a great attack animation, he will hit pretty hard because, well, there's a Drow on the team.
Yeah. It's not the biggest deal for Zeus, but he's also going to have some good burst damage up against the IO, so it's also another aspect that's pretty useful. But
now,
the Broodmother,
I'll admit it's not the greediest Broodmother pick I've ever seen. It's pretty greedy, rather. It's not the easiest Broodmother pick I've ever seen, because there's a Earthshaker already, there's also a Puck, there's also a Zeus, so you've got your detection, and two heroes who can nuke pretty hard to clear out the Spiderlings if needed.
So, is that an offlane Zeus, or
it's a mid Zeus and an offlane
mid Zeus, offlane. Okay.
I guess.
So that means you have a Draw Ranger Visage Earthshaker lane, and until Earthshaker gets level 6, there's not a whole lot he can actually do up against the Broodmother. So
yeah. And there's nothing Drow and Visage will do.
Yeah. So what Leviathan is looking for here is just straight up domination from the Broodmother. Maybe put the Spirit Breaker in the same lane. IO Tiny dual lane in mid. I would love to see that up against the Zeus, actually.
Yeah.
Gonna have plenty of sustain, I would say, up against the Arc Lightning Harass. And yeah, just put Chibi in the safe lane, right? I mean, a little bit unorthodox lanes, but I think it might just work out because, well, they can't really do anything against the Broodmother, so Jenkins, if he plays it right, he should be able to dominate this bottom lane, and especially if he can get some help from the Spirit Breaker, able to provide a little bit of extra damage. But yeah, we'll see how they end up doing it or not.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking around at cosmetics and effigies for a second there. But we do have Leviathan, your reigning champions here in game number 2. ArchaeaDota will be this time mid on the Queen of Pain. I don't know why I almost said Storm Spirit because that was banned out. We've got Flying Zebra on the Spirit Breaker. ShredderDota will be on your Tiny with the Nusham on the Wisp. And last but not least, it's the Pudge the Legend, Jenkins Dota, almost rivaling Dindy's level of pudgeness. Just kidding, totally not. But he's still pretty well known for his pudge play.
Alright, for the side of ASDF, we've got the standing XSY on the Earthshaker. We've got God's Hand playing the puck, coming back here after having a stand-in play from the last game. A center at NASA is the Visage, so he's flying, which is fitting. Yoloswag Rico on the Drow Ranger, which leaves, where is it? There we go, Eleanor on the Zeus.
Yeah, and I'm still assuming the Zeus is going to be mid, but they might actually look to run an aggressive tri lane and dodge the Brood matchup. It'll make Puck's life pretty hard. I'll just put that out there. But the Drow won't get shut down as hard, which is, I think, more important in this lineup.
That's a really smart and really important decision. I mean, the problem is they're gonna miss out on one lane of creeps. But you kind of can't really get away with a defensive triangle like that up against a Brood. So kind of throw Puck to the wolves here, or the spiders in this instance, and hope that he doesn't die, and then just take your chances on the safe lane.
He does have a sentry down, but Jenkins has one as well. And just to give you an indication, that does cover most of the lanes. So long as he doesn't push this lane too hard, he will have the control over Jenkins until Jenkins can get up and place down his own sentry. So I'm going to say level 2, Jenkins picks up Spawn Spiderlings, pushes the lane a bit just to get over there to where the sentry's been placed, and kill it quickly.
Alright, Chewie still not having some pressure put on him just yet.
Yep.
We do see a Radiant Observer Ward Sparta, but it's the higher sentry, so...
Oh, no. That's really unfortunate.
That's really fortunate for Leviathan at the very least.
Yeah.
Not so good for ASDF. They're kind of counting on that ward to keep the Spirit Breaker honest, but now they're going to know that, hey, there's nothing there. Maybe place an Observer Ward of their own, just to keep an eye on the Earthshaker. But we'll see.
Yeah.
He's not going to look to secure the rune, so that should be an easy one for Zeus if he wants to go up there. Oh, yeah, Exercise just going to take it for himself.
Might as well as an Earthshaker. You really need your brown boots and slash or soul ring if you can possibly get it this early on, and he doesn't have pull camp XP to work with. I'd say if there's an aggressive tri lane, you can let them have bounty runes, especially when you don't have a bottle, or especially when you do have a bottle but it's full. Let me correct myself there.
Also, region down bottom, that would be very useful for him. They do a vision of that too, so he's just gonna count on Brood Mother not picking it up and counting on being able to get there before IO can.
I'm fine.
Good morning.
Good morning. Just had a random yawn out of nowhere. And I was worried you thought that I was like...
Morning,
I thought you were thinking I was disconnecting. I'm like, oh dear. Gotta say something. Gotta make some sound. It's actually Puck will throw out a silence.
Yeah.
I think that was the same sound Puck just made. Like, oh my god, it's Brood and all the spiders.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean... He got his bottle, so he's back in the lane for now, but... Next time he has to go back to base if he gets there, and yeah, there we go, to see the spiders already.
Meanwhile, mid, they're gonna pick off Zeus. That was Eleanor Yola Slagerco getting killed. Not just an invisible name, but Shredder already picking up that kill. Set him off to a good start, and maybe a second as XSY gets tossed in the air. No mana to work with here. He's gonna go down. And Spiritbreaker just charging for a second there to give them some vision. However, both these heroes low. No Zeus ult available.
Of resources here, but unfortunately, IO didn't know, or did kind of figure that the bottom lane is probably long gone already, so he didn't ever go down there to pick that up. I would have been the perfect rune for this kind of situation, but
nope, Puck's gonna get it just before the buzzer there. I'm gonna be real here. I'm surprised he doesn't stick around and grab the bounty rune as well, but maybe he thinks he can grab that one too.
Yeah, Leviathan also not looking to contest any of the runes. I mean, they had the Spirit Breaker in the jungle, also out of mana, so maybe if that wasn't the case, then they could have set something up on the top rune, make sure that Dio doesn't have to go back to base.
I was just surprised that...
Shredder has a decent amount of health, so he'll be able to hold out for now.
Yeah, especially with the bottle picked up on Io, I don't really understand why they're not contesting runes, you know?
Yep. I mean, the lineup is kind of built up around being able to do that. I mean, being able to contest and being able to fight. I mean, Shivi's not going to want to move out of this top lane for a while, simply because he's having good enough time here with Earthshaker being somewhere else. Now they might get something done on Visage, but Shivi not quite in a position. Spirit Breaker, yeah, there we go, cancel the charge.
Yeah, just changed his mind there for a second. I heard the collapse into units, like the brrr, when he collides, you know? And I'm like, oh my god, where is he? Where is he? Because it could happen anywhere. It's like hearing the Sunstrike sound as a caster. Meanwhile, though, here comes the other charge. The other Swagger Co. He's going to get charged up here. A slow out on Spirit Breaker. He doesn't have a silence, though. And only being level 3, he is going to go down. Does have a Wraith Band waiting for him when he gets up, but... oh, dear. The bash coming through. 17% chance. Apparently, way too easy. That was like a second hit bash, I believe. Interrupted the TP, and...
it's kind of the only... the first time I actually saw the skill build from Yellow Strike Rico here, and... I do not agree with that. I mean, we saw why just there, but...
oh, wait.
I mean, why would you put up 2 points in the Frost Arrows if you're up against Queen of Pain in lane?
Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to find Yellow Swagger Co. I'm having a little trouble.
Back now.
Yep.
Why would you put 2 points in the Frost Arrows into a hero that doesn't care about that because you have the blink to get away?
I mean, she did lose 5 move speed, Kappa.
What?
She lost 5 move speed in 6.84B. Kappa.
But please.
Exactly. Like, why wouldn't you grab the silence at level 3, at least?
You need the silence, especially considering that there's a Spirit Break on the other team.
And you've got
considering that the silence is the one thing that can Queen of Pain from that keeps Queen of Pain from blinking away.
And you've got a Visage to slow them down anyway.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, if Visage can slow them down and they're still going to get away or they're still going to jump you, you've got bigger problems than that. Okay.
Yeah.
I do question the skill build, but I mean, it could have been a misclick, but I hope not. Yeah, he paid for it, so us bashing him is not necessary at this point. Spirit Breaker will bash him enough, I'm sure. Santa and Nasa gonna steal some speed, but Shibi will throw out the ult, and Zebra will just say, I'll take this creep instead.
Creep's just as nutritious, some people say. Other people say no. Scientists actually found out that they're full of sugar, so they're not actually good for you. That's why they're worth less now.
Is it real sugar, or is it, like, glucose? As they will stun out the Brood on the bottom lane, who is caught under a sentry. Dusted up as well. Zeus ult coming out. They should bring down Jenkins, and they will. Once again, Jenkins being food for the team here, and that's going to be very useful this early on. They're going to use the dust to farm up a few of these spiders. They get a little bit of extra gold. Meanwhile, up top, though, a relocate coming in on Yellow Swagger Co. Knowing he's been left alone in this lane, they're going to get as much out of it as they can. Actually, XSY will get taken down as well.
Yeah.
A beautiful
really good trade. I mean, seeing these rotations down the bottom, knowing that there's that exposes the draw range top, very good response there from Leviathan. I mean, if they hadn't gotten anything else out of that, then it would have been a good trade here, just picking off the Brood. But in this instance, there was perfect space creation there from Jenkins. Even though he didn't necessarily want to, of course, but he never wanted to die as a Brood Mother. You just want to take towers all day. But yeah, if your team can respond to that, knowing that there's not going to be any TP reactions or not enough to actually keep draw ranges safe, go ahead. Take what you can get, use your level 6 on the Wisp, which you got to do at a good timing here, and bring on the pain, so to speak.
Yeah. We are going to see Jenkins going for the Hand of Midas after all, so going with a pretty standard Brood build. You don't need the boots, as I've mistakenly said in the past, but you're fast enough in the webs. 501 move speed should be good, and actually, little does he know, but Visage being charged by the Spirit Bear. You'd think he'd be more in touch with his spirit size. The Spirit Bearer.
Bearer, oh yeah.
Yeah.
He just used
I forgot to
quick
say that,
flame
yeah.
light, I guess.
Yeah. I do that all the time playing Spirit Breaker, even though I don't play him much. It's like, oh, free TP, and the next relocate gonna come in. XSY gets a stun off, but is gonna get the end of his life off as well as he hits the deck hard. Puck, nice phase shift there. We'll get a silence off on Flying Zebra, and a 3-man coil, barely connecting there on 3 of them. And Shibby will actually find a killing spree up top as he takes down Drow Ranger. Once again, every time they leave this Drow alone, the whole team of Leviathan is just like, okay, kill her. Off with her head. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, what's Drow Ranger gonna do? I mean, silence is good and all, but...
Uh-oh. Puck. Not in a great position here as he will get tossed on, jumped on, stunned up, taken down. YOLO Swagger Code just respawned and he's like, guys, I'm gonna go bot and farm. No, you're not. Nushim could live here. Can they throw off a soul assumption in time? They'll get Zeus the kill. But it's a double kill for Shredder as Eleanor is not in a great position. Could be his triple kill, but Broodmother will take it. Jenkins, why?
XSY is gonna die.
Oh, no.
Tossing the Spirit Break up top there to put the another strike off. I mean, if that Earthshaker would have had level 6 long ago, none of that would have happened, but still level 4, not even level 5, the poor guy, so... Now was actually a really good time for Leviathan to do these kind of things.
And Shredder just having some fun on his way back to base, tossing Flying Zebra up into the air to really make him the Flying Zebra.
Yeah. It's a good point, actually. It's... Didn't even think about that. I mean, it's not quite a zebra.
Not quite,
it was
but...
a zebra set for a hero. We'll totally get that.
The animal skin Spirit Breaker set. They'd have it in League of Legends, you know.
Never say that word again.
Okay.
Never. Not even once.
I won't say have.
Okay,
got it.
tosses Nushim up in the air.
Yeah.
For reasons unknown.
Just having some fun here. I mean...
So happy to see you. Just try to
It's
hug
a
him,
tiny version of a hug.
instead. Yeah.
And YOLO Swagger Code will get an ult off, but that's it. As Io will take him down, earn himself a few earn charges, and go ahead and heal himself and Shredder in return. Back up with those. And Nushim, he has no fear. He's the only one of 2 who's died on this team, the other one being Jenkins. I mean, still, they aren't that adept at killing Wisp. And Wisp being one of the easier heroes to kill, you don't really want this to happen. They're going to go on the YOLO Swagger Code once again, who... is not having a good time. Earthshaker gonna go down as well. Not even level 6 at 12 minutes in. Flying Zebra will get stunned, but do they have the follow-up damage? God's Hand trying to silence out Tiny, but Tiny is just too fast. The toss coming through. He still has 13 HP. Shibby will clean it up there as they're gonna charge in on Zeus, who does help bring down the Tiny, but will go down in return. And they're just gonna call it a 12-minute GG.
I mean, what do you do at that point? I mean, vision in your jungle, and everyone can just catch up to the Spirit Break. I mean, Broodmother just with the free pathing, Wisp and Tiny with the relocates, and Queen of Pain with the blink. There's so much mobility, so much engagement angles, and of course they were so far ahead because they've been able to utilize that from minute 1, so to speak, that we have never seen level 6 on the Earthshaker, which was the big counter that they needed.
Yeah, wow, just a convincing victory from Leviathan and showing that they are very strong moving into TI here.
Yep. Definitely on another level here than ASDF, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see them at near the top of this group. I mean, we can take a look at who else is in these groups for them.
It's mostly the American tier 2 teams.
Yeah.
If you're judging the tier from America. So
yeah, yeah, we've got Complexity,
Boreal as well.
These kind of teams, yeah, Boreal,
who are big favorites in the Open qualifier, I think. Them and Pain Gaming, I know, are sort of the top people to look at in the Open qualifier. Anyways, that's gonna be it for right now, guys. Swag was postponed. Sweet, kind of, not really sweet. I'm not really happy about that. Okay. I'm just, that means I get to go play some Dota, Dragondrop.
Yay, Dota!
Yeah, yay, Dota.
I think I'll play some too now.
Alright, well, guys, thank you for coming out. Thanks for watching Truesight TV. Again, don't forget to follow Truesight TV on Twitter. You can find myself at SB5. You can find Dragondrop at DragondropDota. And, yeah, congrats to Leviathan. Better luck next time to ASDF. And we'll see you guys next time.